Giovanni, first of all, take us into the mood in the camp. How's it been after two difficult defeats as you look ahead to Napoli tomorrow?
Well, the mood is good. I mean, in the sense that we've been together for now a couple of days. We have more training sessions than we are used to have before games. So the mood is good. Only the time is tomorrow to perform.
Hi Gio, what is the team news for tomorrow and the situation with John McLaughlin? Is he available to play?
No, John is not available. He picked up an injury after the last game, so he will not be involved. And the others are fit to go. I mean, apart from the players who are already injured.
Hi Gio, you conceded from a set piece obviously in Ajax and you'd conceded against PSV. Spoke about that after the game in Holland. I just wondered if that's something you've given extra work to in training this week, or if it's just the usual, it doesn't matter if you concede or not.
No, of course you want to improve after every game. You want to improve all the things you are doing at the moment, and set pieces is definitely one of the things we didn't do well in Europe. Because we conceded against PSV, as you said, and also against Ajax last week. So, yeah, we're giving it more attention, but that's also with all the other things we have to improve.
Hi, Gio. Just on Alan McGregor, who assumes going to come back into the team tomorrow night. I mean, it's been a strange season for him in a ways. We used to be number one, has had to sit out matches. How have you found his attitude throughout the season, and how much faith do you have in him coming back into obviously a huge game tomorrow night?
Well, of course, it's different for Alan that he's not started the games from the beginning. So that's different for him. He's still the same. He's still the same in training. He's he's the same person, and I have every faith in him when he plays tomorrow because of the experience he has. And he will be fine tomorrow. So I have no doubt in my mind to have any doubts that he will not perform tomorrow.
Alfredo Morelos has had a couple of weeks training now since you left him out of the trip to PSV. Is he ready to come in and start?
Well, he's definitely better than a couple of weeks ago. I mean, both mentally and also physically. He's training really well. So I had a good conversation with him. Of course, the not being involved against PSV for him was a big, I think, a big wake-up call. But after that, he's doing really well. So he's in a far better place than he was in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, he makes it difficult for me now to decide who to start with.
They say that at Rangers you're only one game away from a crisis after two such heavy defeats. Has that given you and your coaching team any thoughts about the philosophy that you're trying to get over to the players? Any changes?
No, nothing to change about philosophy. I mean, 2 weeks ago we qualified for Champions League. Everything was fine. Everyone was praised about the team, about the staff, about the club. We're doing well. And 2 defeats later, it looks like we haven't performed in the last couple of years. I mean, that's the dynamic of football. So I'm not changing anything about my philosophy, how I want to play. Of course, there's a lot of room for improvement, but I think the most disappointing of the last 2 games that we didn't perform. And the disappointment I have, the players for sure they have it, because we talked about it, and that's something that have to change. And losing 2 games against good opponents is you don't play every year against in the Champions League, and the level we facing now in a couple of months, we have never endured that in the last 12 years. So of course it's going to be tough, but I don't understand why we have to put our philosophy on the side. I mean, we can go to Ajax and play with 10 defenders and try to keep the 0, but we're not improving as a team like that. I think I'm sure that the opponent we faced against Ajax was also for my team an experience they won't forget. And the big learning point is to do it different tomorrow against another quality team, Napoli. So no, I think you're sure we faced heavy defeats, and we talked about it. and now is the chance tomorrow to get a good result. Playing at home for us is a big difference, and being a Rangers manager or a Rangers player, 2 defeats in a row is not acceptable, and that's something different than putting your philosophy aside. So we go out tomorrow with the same philosophy and try to win the game.
Napoli's coming without Osimhen or Lozano. So what kind of Napoli do you think you're going to meet compared to the one that played against Liverpool?
Well, I think it's of course Osimhen is a blow for them because he's playing the last weeks already. He's a very physical striker. The strikers they have now are different in quality and also like characteristics. Simeone is a different striker. So we've seen them play also without him. Lozano is in and out of the team. Of course, I know him really well of his time as well at PSV. He's a very good winger, very, very fast. But, if you see the team playing, there are much more than those 2 players. They have quality players. I think the changes they made because of they lose many quality players, very influential players in comparing to last season, but it's a very strong team. I mean, they're first in the league and now in Serie A. That shows the start they have in the league. So we are well prepared, and we know the task we have and the challenge, which is playing against a very, very good team.
How are you planning to stop a player like Kvaratskhelia? Sidiko Bene.
It's a difficult name, eh?
Yeah.
I know. We're struggling as well with my staff to put his name.
Scusate, who has started the season really well, and also what your thoughts about Spalletti, a player that you've never, somebody who've never played against as a player or also managed against.
Well, I mean, he's doing a really good job. I like him as a coach. I like his teams, how they play. So I'm really impressed the work he's done now. He. And the left winger, with the difficult name, he's very, very good. He's actually bow-feeded. He's fast. A lot of dangers come from his side. So he's definitely one of the players we have to make sure that won't be allowed to be in the game because he has the quality. So that's it.
You said James Tavernier had been struggling with a knock the last couple of games. Is he ready to start, and how important a player does he continue to be for you?
Well, he's definitely better than last week because all the games we played in a row that didn't help his physique. The 1 week break, I think for Tav is really welcome because he could recover more days than normally. He's an important player. If you see his quality, he brings to the team. So it's all there to see, and so for him to be tomorrow in the game, he will be much better physically. Than he played against Ajax.
Giovanni, you spoke about keeping belief in the philosophy and the system that's delivered you some great results as recently even as PSV. The issues in the last 2 weeks and the 2 results, is that a failure to implement it with the players, or is it something else that's led to that?
Well, I think if you see the last games, and then the disappointment was also in the performances of the players. I mean, the level we reached wasn't the level we normally have. I said before, especially the game against Ajax, when you have to compete on a higher level than you used to, it's a big difference. So if I look at my team last week and see the performances of my players, I can pick 6, 7 players who didn't reach their level. And if you don't have that in the team to be prepared to play against Champions League opponents, you have to reach your level as a person, as a player, but also as a team to get a result. And if you're not at the level on the day, and you can see all the results last week about big teams losing in really big numbers, that's the Champions League. So tomorrow we need to have the level of performances by player needs to be up, and our team level as well. Otherwise, we are also going to struggle against Napoli. But I'm confident the week we've had and the preparation, and of course the experience of the game last week, we will be in a much better place tomorrow. But then again, the feeling is good. But you know, there's a time to perform, and that's tomorrow starting at 8 o'clock.